Yeah. Wait, should we record this? Because I saw this on my feed and I was going to leave a comment and I saw your comment on it. And then I
Yeah.
didn't even end up leaving my comment.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay.
Okay. When you start your business, no one ever prepares you for what's in store. So finding someone else who just gets it is sometimes the thing that can keep you pushing towards those big vision board business goals.
We're turning our Zoom coffee chats into a weekly, unfiltered podcast for online business owners. There were so many good ones, we always wanted to record them and repurpose them for content anyways. And that's on being a social media manager.
I'm Jessica Sheehy.
And I'm Madeline Daigan. And this is
hashtag
managed. I think it's perfect.
I like it. I like it.
Welcome back, you guys. As you can see, we are in the same room for the second week in a row. Not the same room, but in person.
Yes.
In person.
Not even the same state, but back together again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we just had, I feel like we've had a really busy 2 weeks of just doing a lot of like really fun things. Last week was very like podcast focused. Obviously, like being in person, recording in that awesome studio. And then now this week was very content focused.
Yes.
Like spoiler, photo and video content.
So much, yes.
So much content, yeah. I think we need to do and I think we talked about this, do like a deep dive on our whole like planning process for the content day that we had yesterday.
Yes, because I also feel full transparency that both Jessica and I still like planning it are still like, okay, how do we make it better?
Yeah.
And like last night when Jessica left, like I was going through our pictures that we took on our phones in video and just figuring out the Google Drive, the shared albums. And so that's just to say, not even us after 6+ years of running a business, like have it fully like figured out. I'd say we have it pretty figured out, but
yeah,
there's always room for improvement. So
yeah, I would agree. I would say even on the like the planning, like I would probably say that this is the best curated shoot content day that that's ever been done. Like it's just, there was so much thought that went into it. But even then, and I know this is just my like somewhat perfectionism that I'm like constantly fighting, like even like in the midst of yesterday, I'm like, God, like could we have like planned a little better to like have this or like make like our timeline different or like, oh my gosh, like could we have gotten more props or more things? Like I'm always thinking like more and more. Maybe because I think because we're both creatives, like we see the vision and we're like, okay, we want more to come out of it. And I mean, I had to like really like catch myself yesterday as I was driving home because I was thinking that, but then I was like, wait a minute. Like I'm looking at all the content that's in our like shared folder, like that we all captured. And that's not even including the photographer.
No.
Who was absolutely amazing. We'll obviously tag her in every single post or video or, graphic that we share from her. So amazing. I think really great at really understanding our vision, which is really hard when you're finding a photographer. Like, yes, can they shoot and edit, but like, do they have that creative direction and eye too? But I was like, man, should we have like done more? Should we have like booked like the whole day for content? But then I was thinking, like, could I have actually lasted all day? Right. We would have all been like dead.
Yeah.
And
like debrief, because I know that, I don't know, but like at the beginning of a photo shoot, any photo shoot that I've ever done in my life, there's always like those nerves of like, you're just thinking of like, did we prepare enough? And it's like, we did. And like you said, I think like maybe it was the most prepared like photo shoot.
Yeah.
But for me, coming from somebody who's done it myself, my own photo shoots myself, that was like not like I realized where I was like I was anxious, but why? Because I had a team to like be like, oh yeah, do this, which was nice and was weird.
Yeah,
but a good weird.
No, yeah, and I would say definitely a good weird because like we all have like our own like strengths and things that we brought to
Mm-hmm.
yesterday, which I think is going to make it so great when we really look at everything. And I think bringing it
Yeah.
back to your point, like, wow, we have so much content. Like, what do we do with it? But it's such a good problem to have
Yeah.
because even like in past shoots that I've done, like for myself or for Social Savvy or even for clients, or when they're like, hey, I like hired photographer, I have 20 photos, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do with that? Like you're like, okay, so many photos, and we have photo and video from this
Yeah.
content day. Like
So much.
I think the format of that was so great. And now it is, and I think it's just obviously we're like marketers, so we know like being that content creator or like, I don't know, lack of a better term, models for the day, like that's exhausting. Exhausting, like to do that.
And as social media managers, where it's like, I know to just, if you're a solopreneur, if you like, you start to get used to being on camera yourself, like being the
Mm-hmm.
fit, like popping onto your stories and all that. But when you're in an agency, normally too, you're the one behind the scenes, and you're just like, I
Mm-hmm.
do, because I feel like they'll say there's two types of social media managers, like
Mm-hmm.
the ones who will be okay with being on camera, and then the ones who are like, I absolutely do not want to be on camera. And
Mm-hmm.
just, I feel like it like you have to get in your like this comfortable zone of like just having fun, goofing around,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
to really show your agency and your brand's personality. And I think we nailed that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So without giving like too many spoilers of it,
Mm-hmm.
because I want everyone to like see the content, and I know we have to like wait for content from photographer, and I'm sure we'll do some fun kind of like launch of it. It's very timely. That's all I'm really gonna say. Like it's timely. If that gives you any hint as to what it is, and now we're in end of November.
Which is crazy.
Yes,
Which is crazy.
it is. Yeah.
Because like December's gonna be like, we're gonna be in 2025 like
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're going to be recording like our 2025 trends or predictions or
Oh my
something like so
gosh.
soon. And like we started at 2024 trends and
Uh-huh.
predictions, which is really crazy just to see how far like we've gone in the podcast. And I know we'll probably do an episode like really like we did like a lot of recap around like episode 100, but I think we can really dive deeper like
Mm-hmm.
in what it's been like. And now that we're in season 2, like we have a lot of things that we can share that have changed and what 2025 looks like. But I think we'll definitely plan for an episode where we go deep into like everything we put into the content day, also giving us some space since we're just fresh out of the content day to like really digest it. And to Maddie's point around like Google Drive and the shared albums, like we're still figuring out like
Mm-hmm.
what's the best process for we have all this content now, how do we take it, make sure like the entire team has it, and then
Mm-hmm.
how do we like fit it into the content calendar, because one, it's timely, and two, we got a lot.
Yeah.
So I think that's like something that we'll like figure out how to juggle, and then we can
Yes.
hopefully like do a really good podcast just kind of deep diving into what that looks like. But because I think that if you are a social media marketer and you're like working with clients who don't have good content, if you can offer this as like an added service or like put it in your package, like it's so valuable to be able to like um work with your client, whether they're like a personal brand, product brand, like brick and mortar store, to get them more content. And I think more specifically like in the way that this was themed.
Yeah.
Like I think that themed and curated, like that, it has its place, right? Like it's not, we're not going to create like a, curated like Instagram feed with it, but like we're going to use it everywhere marketing wise.
Yeah.
So, it really, really plays out. I'll say my one thing, and I don't know, maybe you agree on this too, but I think doing content days, I feel like I can capture a lot of really great content. I would much rather hire a photographer
Oh,
to capture
100%.
it. Like
100%.
even if I'm not like the subject of it, like if it's for a client, I'm like, no, I'm gonna hire you, and
That's
you're
the
gonna
one.
capture everything and edit everything
Yeah, that's the
because
one thing that because again, what do you say again? I don't know. It's early. It's early. But I think something I've always said is graphics are a secret sauce. I think that some
Mhm.
social media managers, they have the photography background, and that is a service that they want to offer, and there's nothing wrong with that. But like, I think for both Jessica and I, we both know that that's not our strong suit, not something I want to do.
Mhm. Yeah.
For
Yeah.
funsies. No,
No.
no, thank you.
I think we're also like, I think I'm safe saying this for both of us as well. Like we would rather like creative direct it
Yes.
because we do have like that big vision of like what it should look like, and like in return we're like the marketers who need that content. So
Mm-hmm.
we really can drive that creativity. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right. And on that, should we dive into our weekly reports?
Yes.
Do you
Yes.
want to kick off with yours?
Yes. Okay, so I'm reading The Friend Zone by Abby Jims. I don't know how to say her last name, but you read it. It
Mm-hmm.
was one of Jessica's recommendations a few weeks back. Then I'm eating Dot's Pretzels, the original. I'm listening to podcasts on Substack. I feel like I've mentioned Substack on here maybe a few times, but that is something that I really just want to deep dive and learn more about. Then I'm obsessing over the Summer Fridays cherry flavor lip gloss, which funny story on that. Maybe we'll circle back to that. And then recommending starting your own holiday traditions, which leads me to treating myself and Brennan to steaks for Thanksgiving. Um, I need to go to the butcher, or like I think
Mm-hmm.
like maybe like put in a recommendation. Like
Mm-hmm.
I have a week, but
Yeah. Like
still,
yeah,
yeah.
get the
This
order
weekend
in.
where I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
thank you, yes,
Yeah. Well, that's exciting. And I'll say, can I share the story
yes,
on
yes,
the.
yes,
So we were in Charleston last week together, obviously. And so we went into Sephora as one would. We were on King Street. We were just kind of bopping around. We went to the Taylor Swift bookstore. That was
yes,
our main destination.
yes.
And then we also were like, we also need to go into Sephora as one would. And we go in, the Summer Fridays is stocked with every lip gloss. And I'm like, I think we like
every
hit the
flavor.
gold mine. Like, when has that ever happened? I feel like it's been like maybe months or years that I've gone into Sephora and even seen like one box of lip
Yeah.
gloss. Like I think I buy all of my Summer Fridays online now
Mm-hmm.
because of that. So anyway, we both bought the cherry because we were like looking at all of the flavors, and the cherry's tinted too. So I
Yeah,
feel
it's
like
a
it's
pretty.
a really great color.
Yeah.
So highly recommend if you're looking for a good like um fall to winter Christmassy
Yeah,
lip gloss.
that's all I wore in the shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll link the stuff that I wore.
Influencer era. Okay, now going into my weekly report. I feel like I've been so busy just with last week in Charleston and this week with the shoot that I haven't even picked up my Kindle. But I'm still reading The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden, and I'm on the fence. I was sharing with them yesterday if I'm actually going to finish the book. If you guys are on Book Talk or on any book group, then you know that everyone is who is a diehard Frida fan like ourselves is really disappointed in this novel. So I haven't quite decided if I'm going to finish it yet. But the fact that I haven't finished it in so long, and
Mm-hmm.
it being a Frida McFadden novel, I feel like really speaks volumes. So I'm eating tuna salad. I'm like, I don't know why I'm obsessed with tuna salad at this moment. Like, I'm not really like a big tuna
I'm
person,
not. I'm like I want to be.
but I actually like I don't know. It's all over my For You page. Actually, it's not. This is not what's on my feed, but it's all over my For You page of people just putting in like random things from their fridge, like
Okay.
cutting up like pickles or like putting in like peppers or just random like people are putting in like those like crispy jalapenos you can get from Trader
Ooh, yeah,
Joe's,
yeah, yeah.
to make it like crunchy. So I'm kind of like in a weird tuna salad era, which I feel like makes sense because I was in a chicken salad
Yeah.
era. So I'm kind of in the salad eras lately. I'm playing Manifestation Babe podcast. I think her name is Catherine Zinkina. That's how it's spelled. So I'm
Okay.
going to go ahead and guess that.
Okay.
I really like this podcast. I'm not a huge, like, sorry if, no need to offend, but I'm not into very woo practices,
Mm-hmm.
too woo woo. But I do
Mm-hmm.
like manifestation. I like things that are very practical and things that I can like add into a routine. And I feel like the way she talks about manifestation is just all about like positivity, which I know is like the stem of, right, like, knowing what you want and kind of asking for it. But I feel like that's kind of in my rotation lately because it's one of my downloaded podcasts, but I
Mm.
haven't listened in months. And so
Yeah.
I'm now binging it Netflix style. I'm obsessing over the Poppy Cranberry.
Yeah.
One of our team members brought it yesterday for the shoot, and I've been trying to find it, so I'm so happy she found it.
Yep.
We live like down the street from each other, so I'm like, how did you find it? I can't. Clearly, we're shopping at different stores, but it's really great. I think perfect for the holidays. Recommending that you plan a themed shoot for your business.
Mm.
I think now we're kind of in the like holiday season, but I think there's so many opportunities throughout the year that you can do different themes, right? Like
Yeah.
you can do like a fun like New
I was just gonna say
Year
that.
something, New Year, New You. I don't even know, something along those lines, like Galentine's.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of opportunities for fun themes. And I'm treating myself to possibly keeping my Newly subscription after like our
Me
Friendsgiving
too.
shoot. I'm like,
Me too.
I think it's worthwhile. Like the pieces I got were great for the shoot. Some of them I think were like staples, like pair of pants, a skirt. And I'm like, should I buy this? And
I'm
so
literally wearing
yeah,
2 things that I got from the Newly
yeah,
subscription.
yeah. Oh, I didn't realize that was from Newly.
Yes.
Okay, see,
Purple for the
I'm like
podcast.
gonna keep it. So that's what I'm treating myself to, and that's my weekly report.
I also need to say one more thing about Newly though. I feel
Yeah.
like it could be dangerous because it's like I liked everything in my box or bag or
Mm-hmm.
whatever this time. But like the pieces are like $200 and I'm like,
Yeah, that's. I feel like the pieces I like are either like 80,
yeah. Oh yeah.
200,
Uh-huh.
like nothing in the
And they're
middle.
like and like they have the brand. So this is like they aren't sponsoring us, but maybe they should. Um, but I think almost all the brands that I'm wearing are like Anthropologie, Free People, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, so they're the brands.
Yeah.
One of the dresses that I got, I saw in Free People when I was back home in Indy, really wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have my size, and it's one of those dresses too where you're like, is it gonna fit? Like
Mm-hmm.
weird, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wore it, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay. I don't think I am. Like I'm trying to be
Okay.
good. I'm trying to be good financially, but like keeping the
Yeah.
subscription, I think it pays for itself.
It does, because then I feel like you have a month of really great pieces,
Mm-hmm.
and not to be, I don't know, is it? I guess it would be super sustainable, right? Because it's like
Yeah.
super sustainable and also like good for our wallets at the same time that
Yes.
we're not like going in, and not that we do anyway, but we're
Right.
not going into Anthropologie every month and like
Right.
dropping like $600,
Yeah.
$800 on these few pieces.
Yes.
So yeah, I do think I'm definitely going to keep it, because I think like right now I'm like, I really need to add more staples to my closet, but I'm also like, I don't know, I'm kind of like in a weird thing with like finding my style, and maybe that's like I know we've talked about like maybe working with a stylist in 2025. I just feel like that would be needed, because I'm like, what is my style now that I'm like getting into my 30s? It's like I look at my closet of like, okay, if I'm going to dinner, if I'm going to meet like people
Yeah.
at a bar or somewhere, it's like, well, am I gonna wear my like same go-to, which I'm like, okay, like nice jeans and a black
Yeah.
top. I'm like so typical like millennial, like thinking about my going out outfit, like hasn't changed in
Yeah.
forever. So anyway, that being said, I think it's a really really great thing
Yeah.
for like what you can get, because it's 6 pieces, right? 6
Six pieces,
pieces
yeah.
that you get a month.
I think you can get more, but yeah, I think
Yes,
we both
yes.
got 6
Yes.
pieces.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so this week's water cooler, so I chose it last night, and I pulled it from our Facebook group, and I don't know. I was really looking, I was like searching the Facebook group, seeing if any of you guys were like talking about 2025 advice, goals, I don't know. But then I decided to type in the word lost. Getting dark. I know,
Okay.
like just
Yeah.
like lot, because again, I feel like sometimes the people in the group like advice. If I would have typed in advice, I know a bunch more would have popped up, but I really like the word lost.
Mm-hmm.
And so this week, it's from a while back, but they said, would love some advice on this. I'm starting to hate my social media business. Oh, hang on. I don't feel proud of it, and I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if it's the clients I work with or maybe my branding, but it's not enjoyable anymore. I genuinely love social media. I love creativity. I love doing it for business. Also, I love having a social media agency, but just not sure why I'm feeling this at the moment. I should also mention I'm a full-time college student, and it kind of feels like I'm just trying to balance both instead of being passionate about one one of that makes sense. I definitely don't want to quit social media management, just stuck at the moment. So give me your best advice if anyone has ever felt this way about their business. Well, first of all, it also spoke to me and my soul because I'm just like applauding you that you're a college student.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy your time in college. That'd be my first piece of advice. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you have so much more of
Like,
life to live and like
yeah.
make mistakes and yeah, just make mistakes. And the other thing too, where it's like this is awesome that you have your own business, but I think if I could go back in time, I also, because I never worked for, well, now I do, but like
Mm-hmm.
I never worked for a marketing agency or like an advertising agency. And I kind of wish I would have, but I did experience I experienced corporate life. And I think when you're that young, you kind of need to experience those different, like marketing in different environments to really understand what you love and don't like. Because right now, I feel like, in all honesty, I feel this person is just feeling burnt out. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's why it's not enjoyable. When the second it's not enjoyable, it's burnout. And also, I think the main reason why I wanted to pull this one too is because I, as a 30-year-old, have felt this so many times throughout the past 6 years. Like, there have been times that, and still to this day, who's to say, like, a year from now, I'm not going to want to just walk away and set it all on fire and be like, goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
have friends sitting next to me who would like be like, you're not doing that. But,
Mm-hmm.
um, so yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts? What do you think of me pulling this one?
No, I like this one because I think I don't know what it is about. Maybe it's because we're ending 2024 and going into 2025 that it's such a time to like self-reflect and look in
Yes.
retrospect and think like, where do I want to go with the new year? There's so many new opportunities. Like, there's that saying, right? Every new day, every new week, every new month is an opportunity. But like, there's something about a new year
Mm-hmm.
that I think really fuels like human drive to kind of change things up. I think the fact that this person who submitted the water cooler is in college and running a social media business, and is she currently running an agency? I know she
That's what
said she
she's.
loves
She
running,
says yes.
loves
Agency.
having a social media agency. So yeah, I would assume yes. And so I think it's incredible. I know right now we're in such a interesting time where like when you and I were in school, like yeah, people had side hustles and we're making money and we're doing all these side things. But I think that was like side gigs and side jobs. Like
Yeah.
your job 2, your job 3, like how different ways you were making money. Whereas now, and it's just because like of how like advanced we are with like
Mm-hmm.
technology and like the gig economy, you can work online and work from home or work from anywhere, and can bring in clients. But all that to say, like it's just so different now, and I
Yeah.
think it's incredible. I think it gives so much more opportunity to people in college. But that being said, not everyone in college is running a social media business, let alone a social media agency. So I think give yourself way more
Mm-hmm.
credit. It's always like, don't look at that person who, like don't look at myself as social savvy owner. Like
Yeah.
I'm 6 years in, and it took a lot of like blood, sweat, tears, money, like team,
Mm-hmm.
like so much
Mm-hmm.
to get to this point that like don't. And not that I'm saying she's looking at that, but like don't look at that, because I don't have school, I don't have
Yeah.
other responsibilities like that. Like I don't have children, so I can't compare
Yep.
myself to like mom
Yep.
entrepreneurs. So I think that is something to think about. I was trying to, when you were reading the water cooler, I was trying to find this quote. I can't find it. It'll come to me. I'll see it on my
Okay.
feed. But it was basically, that quote. I'm so gonna butcher it, but it's like, Oprah didn't get her start. She wasn't on her first newscast
Mm.
until like 46. Ellen DeGeneres got her daytime talk show. Again, I'm
It's
I'm
like no,
I'm
but like
butchering. Yeah,
J.K. Rowling was like on
right. The bestseller, or like,
like she was like on food stamps, like
yes,
essentially
yes,
at the same time
at
she.
like age way,
40.
yeah, way older than like even where you and
Yeah.
I are at now. And it's all these like very, very successful people. And I think that, right now, and I guess just the way, and it's always like this, right, generationally, but right now it seems like, okay, this is the time to like, to grind and to grow and to scale. But like, there's
Yeah.
so much time in between there. So I wanted to find that. I wanted to be really philosophical and like
Yeah.
read that for the podcast, but I couldn't find that. But just by Googling, Google's new like AI is like not helping me at all with any Google searches lately. But I really like that. I think that that's so important. The other thing that I would say, just in my experience, because I have felt that before, where I'm like, I don't love, I don't love the branding. I
I think
don't.
that's why I also chose that because I
Yeah.
know just like I this one spoke to me because that's what this podcast is for too, is like to be transparent with you guys where you do see us on social media, but like these are the conversations that Jessica and I have on the side with each other. And it was like this is one conversation I know we both have had that I wanted to bring onto the podcast because
Mhm.
same.
Yeah. And my biggest like piece of it, well, two things, right? As the entrepreneur, as the boss, as whatever title you want to go off of, like you have the capability of doing whatever you want. If you don't like it, change it. There's one piece of how we work with clients. It's kind of big that I'm like I don't like this anymore. So in my head I'm thinking, okay, it's November 20th. I like to chill out in December, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to go quick. I like to take the last 2 weeks of the year off. So that's what I'm like, okay, I've only have a couple more working weeks of the
Mm-hmm.
year. And so then at that point, I'm like, 2025, how do I change that? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm changing it effective immediately, right? I'm like, sending out the memo on our company paper, like but all that to being said, you can change it. Like, if you don't like something, change it. And my last piece of advice, going back to kind of the branding piece or different things that I just, at certain points in business, I just stopped loving or I didn't love, or I'm like, what is this? This doesn't represent what I want for the brand. Invest in help, like invest in help. I think I said like one of my favorite investments was hiring someone who brand designer, loved her style. I knew she would nail the vibe. She nailed it. I don't think I gave her any edits on I think like really small tweaks, like
Mm-hmm.
really, really small, but like she absolutely nailed it. And for the cost that it was, which was, I think, very, very low in comparison to branding packages, it, it's played off because now it's 2 years later that we've
Mm-hmm.
had this rebrand. So anyway, all that to say, like you can change it and invest in those things that you're not loving because it will so be worth
Mm-hmm.
it. It
Mm-hmm.
really will.
Yeah. And anything in your business that you're not finding enjoyable, outsource that. Find somebody,
Yes.
hire somebody to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
100%.
as a social media manager, we wear a lot of hats. We know we do, and there are some things that just aren't enjoyable for
Mm-hmm.
us.
Yeah.
Like Jessica sent me this hard quiz, and one of it like you had to rank like do you have like on a scale of 1 to 5 of like, and she listed off like engagement and like things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, all of them I think I marked 5. I can't remember. I think one got a 4, but
Mm-hmm.
that's important to know. Like maybe you give yourself that own type of
Yeah.
quiz and test where it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
not even, it's
Absolutely.
like reflecting, like
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
asking those questions, which parts don't I like or enjoy anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's a great piece of advice, especially as we like close out 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Deep.
Yeah.
Okay. What is on your feed this week?
Okay, so on my feed, I've like curated a For You page of like small startup brands, and I'm obsessed with it. Like I'm obsessed. I want to be their friend. I want to just give them all marketing advice. But I'm obsessed. I haven't tried the product yet. I think they're in Whole Foods, so I do hope they're in a Whole Foods near me. But it is a sauce company, and their brand is called Sauz, so Sauz, and their marketing on TikTok is so fun. They lean into what I'm always preaching, like go into your founder story, tell me about. I
Okay.
think it's founded by two friends,
Oh,
two
I love
friends who
that.
started like a sauce company. I believe it's two guys.
Okay.
Their marketing is so fun. I think they take a page out of the um the like I think about when I think of this now, like a mascot. They take a page out of the Duolingo
Mm-hmm.
book, and they've got the like, Duolingo has the green bird.
That's hilarious.
So they have like mascots of their sauce, and they go around, I think, to new stores that they pop in. Looks like they're in Target now too. So much fun content. But they're posting really, really fun content. They're leaning into their story, and they're leaning into like their product like origin. And I think that, you can have fun with that. Like, you can create funny videos with that. You can create serious, inspirational videos. It's going to sell the product because you're selling yourself. So they're not saying, "Hey, buy this sauce," compared to other sauces, because when you think
They're,
about when you're buying sauce, your demographic is, okay, there's people who are just going to buy the cheapest.
yeah.
They're looking for the cheapest. There's people who will buy the high end because they want a more
Like
like
if they don't, because I know
better
for me,
ingredients.
I'll tell you, like I look at the sugar where it's like I don't want too much
Yes.
sugar in it.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
that's so
Yeah. So
smart.
I do the same. Well, I think I'm always drawn to like great branding, and I think theirs
Mm.
is great. But then of course I'm like, let me read past that and see what the ingredients are. Because also, and I maybe it's just the way that like I like to cook, but I would also make my own sauce
Mm.
if it wasn't super great. So, but if it's like a good, like there's a couple of brands that I really like. But anyway, this isn't a cooking podcast. um,
Maybe it should
yeah,
be.
right.
We're in
Maybe.
our Martha era.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we're really switching our niche after being influenced by her documentary. But anyway, I think again it goes back to like the other brands that I've shared like on my feed, because I've curated this like feed of just small businesses, and I'm just like, I want to just help you like market. I think it's so cool. But anyway, I love my last piece of that is the creativity that it
Yeah, I
seems like
mean,
they have. Like give your marketing team or marketer or social media manager or whoever is in that creative seat, give them full capability to run with things. Like yesterday, even after our content shoot, we had a client meeting, and then afterwards we were debriefing, and we came up with like the best campaign ever
it's so good.
for Cyber Monday.
So
And so it
good.
was one of those things where it's like we're running with that creative freedom, and I'm so excited for like that audience to see that campaign, but I'm so excited to like deliver those results to the client and be like, this is what we did with
Yeah.
having full creativity, right? You get
Yep.
so limited when you're put in a box. And I think I always talk about the box here on the podcast, right? Like, oh, we can only do X amount of posts for you per week, or we can only do this, or nope, we can't create all reels, or we already created our 12 reels for the month, so we're not going to do anymore. So like that's a box that I took us out of in this year. But the next box I want to like take us out of is give us more creative
Mm-hmm.
freedom. Not that I'm going to say like, hey, let's get mascots for like all of our clients, but like, why not? So that's what's on my feed this week.
Yeah.
What's on yours?
Mine, so similar brand, like on the topic of branding, but if you are you aware of Pantalones Tequila, which is Matthew McConaughey's
Mm-hmm.
brand,
Yeah.
and him and his wife just recreated the How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days movie poster with how to lose your pants in 10 ways. And just, I think this is very similar topic with where Matthew and his, like, Matthew and his wife, and clearly, obviously, their marketing team, they're having fun with it. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
can tell that this is a marketing team who, like, they're like, let's go with pantless. Like, they
Mm-hmm.
know people want to see Matthew McConaughey pantless. They do. His
Mm-hmm.
wife is equally as stunning, and I think saw one TikTok where almost all their ads have been poking fun at how serious like tequila ads are, where it's like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that smoky like man and
Mm-hmm.
just very outdated.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I'm kind of excited. I feel like they're gonna have some fun holiday marketing. I
Yeah.
just get this feeling.
Yeah. That's fun.
I've
And
not tried the tequila, but I want to.
yeah, what a really fun campaign. And again, leaning into said founder of the
Yes.
company, and obviously like his um like past movie that he's been in. And so I think that's really funny. Like what a really funny way for people to, cuz obviously people love that movie. I think it's
Yeah.
like a really classic rom-com, but it always like recirculates.
Oh
I
yeah.
think like TikTok brings it back, like for different like trending audios,
Well,
or the iconic yellow dress.
literally, because who it's Kate Hudson, right? Who's in the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah,
So the Dodgers were in the World Series,
yeah,
right? I am
yeah,
getting
yeah,
the right.
yes, yes, yes. This is
God.
now a sports
Yes.
podcast.
Okay.
Yes.
And her daughter recreated, because like in the
Oh,
movie
yeah,
where
yeah,
she's like,
yeah.
"Can you get me a drink?" And he's
Mm-hmm.
like, "Right now?" And she's like, "Yeah." And
Yeah.
so I
That
was
was
like,
so
that
good.
was so funny. And so I feel like Kate and Matthew are close. Like I think in Green Lights they even said like they're pretty close in real
Mm-hmm.
life too. So I just love that for them.
Yeah, that's hilarious. But yeah, what a really really fun campaign. I feel like that's also it gives like a really good, I don't know, idea for like if you're probably as you're listening to this podcast, hopefully because it's coming out the week of Black Friday, hopefully you're not actually planning and executing Black Friday marketing campaigns. Who knows, maybe you are. We get it. We're in the like weeds of Q4 with you. But if you're thinking like even for like other holiday or like end of year promotions, like get creative, like think of out of the box ideas that maybe other industries are doing, because again, like you said, tequila marketing is not fun in that way, right? Like it's
Right.
completely different marketing. So kind of like look at the competitors of your clients and think like, what can I do that's completely different?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that could spark like some really fun ideas.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
speaking of like products and Black Friday, we decided that we talk a lot about our favorite products on the podcast, and I think if we were to crown one person with the ultimate like holiday, I can't say marketing campaign, but actually I think it did eventually
Mm-hmm.
become this,
Mm-hmm.
but it was Oprah, like her
Yeah.
favorite things episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I would love to like. Could you imagine like being in that audience? Also,
Mm-hmm.
like I want to hear from somebody who was once in that audience.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
and like what year? What all did you get? Were there
Yes.
any
Yes.
strings? Because
Yes.
sometimes it's
Yes.
like those
Yeah.
like game shows where it's like
Right. It's like, oh, it looks
it's
great on TV, but
yeah.
yeah, you're actually not getting
But
this.
I
You're
have to
getting that.
believe like they all got that and got to keep it. Like that'd be so cool.
I
But
would hope so. I would hope so. So,
but we decided that we were going to give you guys a list, and it's going to be a blog,
mhm.
but a list of all of our favorite things, beauty wise, wellness and health, workout, office, or work. Why did I say workout?
Yeah.
Work, office, tech, home, any other ones we think of as we're
Mhm.
sitting here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
So we've been working on well, I guess you could say we've been working on this list for a while because we do our weekly reports every single week on this podcast. And we're always pulling in very very random things, but a lot of times we're pulling in products. And so yeah, we pulled together a big list. Should we kick off with the first category, beauty?
yeah.
Okay.
And also, we asked Harmony and Brianna to also
Mm-hmm.
share like some of their favorites. So
Yes, yes. So this is a combined, like compiled team list of team social savvy
yeah,
slash hashtag manage.
yeah,
We have a really long name for our favorite things list. So I think, and it's so funny. You can tell we're all like
yeah.
girls
Oh, one
because
hundred
like
percent.
the beauty category is the longest.
It is.
So
It is.
okay,
Okay.
do you want to kick off with?
Yeah, perfume. We all agreed that Glossier You is
Mm-hmm.
hands down the best perfume.
Yeah. I think it's a really good like you could say investment
It
perfume because
is.
it's a little
I mean,
more
all
than
perfumes are.
right, right. But it's so worth it
And this is
because
coming from the girl who also has a scent bird.
Scentbird. Yes, yes.
Would you
But
recommend scent bird?
I would. Yeah, I would recommend Scentbird because I think for the price point it's really great to be able to try a lot of perfumes. It's so hard because it's all online. I don't and
Yeah.
I don't know how they would I don't know how they could do better at this, but I would love better um like product marketing on their website to help me find different perfumes.
Ooh.
Like because they can obviously help me find it based off of like, oh, do I want like earthy, woodsy, or
Mm-hmm.
like
But
floral
like,
or
what does that
bright.
mean
Yeah,
sometimes?
like I don't
To
know.
me.
And then I look at so like I know a few like one of my favorite scents is amber.
Mm.
Anytime there's amber in a scent, I'm like I'm probably going to love it. But sometimes they add other things into it, so I'm like, is it overpowering the amber? Is it
Mm.
complementing? Is amber in the forefront? So that's where it's like I don't know. I think, but I know it's hard to do,
Yeah.
any sense. But yeah, I would definitely recommend that as well. For mascara, a few of us on the team have lashes, so I know we don't all have the best,
Yes.
or we don't all have like mascara recommendations. And honestly, I don't know if I've met like a mascara that I really love. I'm not like loyal to any, but I think you added this, right? The
Yes.
Chanel
And it's
mascara.
one in particular. I should have like looked this up. Now I need to find it. I'll put again. I don't want to
Yeah,
waste your time, but like
yeah.
there's one in particular. Look out for it on the
Okay,
blog.
yep.
I'll be very
Coming soon.
specific.
Yeah,
Yeah,
coming soon.
yeah.
They'll be the
It
link.
should be out like by Black Friday, where you can
Perfect.
literally see if any of these places
Yeah, are
have.
doing any sales or
Yeah.
not. Yes. Hopefully they are. Okay, lip gloss. We have a lot of thoughts
Okay,
on
I
lip
want you to
gloss.
say because I don't want to say the. I'm gonna say it wrong.
Okay, so for lip gloss, I think this is so funny. So I added in Laneige. I'm a huge fan of Laneige, and I hope I'm saying that
Yes.
right, but I would guess maybe that I am.
Yes.
I know Harmony mentioned Rhode's
Yep.
peptide lip gloss. So good if you haven't tried it.
I haven't.
Sephora, can we get Rhode in store?
Yeah.
Thank you. Summer Fridays, which I think was yours,
Mm-hmm.
Maddie, which fitting, obviously,
Yes.
on Weekly Report. And then Brianna added Juvia's. Juvia's, I think that's how
Yeah.
you pronounce it. So I'm intrigued and I want to try that.
Yes. And also another funny conversation we had was so you'd have to tell us if you are like this as well, if you have a night lip gloss, lip balm, and a day one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't know. So I should add one more, but we had a fake. Okay, I'm gonna give you a little secret
Hmm.
thing from the shoot, but we did like a favorites thing. So we all brought one of our favorite things, and Harmony brought a little elf lip balm,
Hmm.
and it's so
It
good.
is. I was really shocked. I used it last
I
night
did.
and I was like, I really like, I think mine was strawberry,
Yeah, mine
but I
was.
think all of the scents were great.
Yes.
So I think that one was good because typically, like, so my night would be Laneige, and then I would say my day probably like Road or Summer Fridays, depending
Mm,
on whichever one I can find in whatever bag or
yeah.
room I'm in that day.
Yes. Okay, and then for lipstick, Brianna said Morphe's matte lipstick in shade Suspect.
Hmm.
So again, I'm gonna have to
I
check
need
that
to
one
try
out.
that. Yeah, yeah. I need to try that one. I haven't. I guess I'm leaning more towards lip gloss and
Then lipstick.
yeah,
Yeah.
lately.
Yeah.
So yeah. For blush, we have lots of blush thoughts as
Lots of
well.
blushes.
My favorite is Rare Beauty Happy. I love the liquid blush, but I also love the powder blush. Like I would say liquid for day and like a liquid and powder like combo for like night or for pictures or something. But I think the shade Happy is super fun. Revolution and Savage Coral and Jolly Rose, which I don't know if I've used. No, I think I've used a Revolution product before. I was trying to remember if I have. And then Elf Halo Glow
Yeah.
Rose You Slay, I think is that one. And honestly, Elf lately with their
Is
recommendations with their with their dupes are really great. I think they've really like stepped up their
which
game.
is kind of funny because I feel like at the beginning of this year we were talking about how Elf was in the Mean Girls movie, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Product
And
placement.
now I need to go back and see if any of those products are ones that we're saying
Oh yeah,
because that'd
yeah,
be interesting.
yeah. That would be good to know.
Okay, and now for foundation slash tinted moisturizer, L'Oreal's True Match, which I feel that's a staple.
Mm-hmm.
But mine is out like Hourglass's Veil Hydrating Skin Tinted
Oh yeah.
foundation. Like it's more of the moisturizer, and I really
Mm-hmm.
like it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll also add to that. I didn't add this yesterday because I go back and forth with foundation is probably the number one circulating thing in
Mm-hmm.
my makeup
Mm-hmm.
bag. Um, I really like the Ilia brand,
Oh yeah.
Clean Beauty. It's their
The
foundation, but it's
drop.
like the
Yep.
drops,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's just it's more skincare than foundation. Obviously they have like shades and hues, but I really like that one as
Yeah.
well.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Primer again was Elf Power Grip, and then I wasn't sure where to put the Lumi Glotion.
I use it as a primer.
Okay,
I do, yeah,
okay.
because I, I've used the Power Grip before. I've used like the version of Power Grip, which is the milk. I forget
Oh
what it
yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But I like the Lumi Glotion for primer. I think it gives you like a really good, like somewhat matte base and a good tint. Like
It
they have a
was
couple.
also giving me because I'd never seen that. Like I've seen it, but like I like
Mm-hmm.
held the product in my hand yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and it was giving the Charlotte Tilbury dupe.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yes. I would agree on that.
okay, and then setting spray, Elf Power Grip,
Mm-hmm.
same thing. Well, it's not same thing, but
Right, like
same
the
name.
spray
Yes.
version
Yep.
versus primer version. Yeah. For body soap,
This one's yours.
my go-to is the, and I hope I'm saying that. I never know exactly how to say this brand either. I think I say it like 3 different ways, but L'Occitane, the shower oil.
Mm.
It's like an almond scent, which is just really subtle, but
Mm.
it's like very nice. And it like is an oil, so it kind of goes on as like a shower oil, and then it like washes off as wash, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like
But
it becomes like
yeah,
a
like it lathers up really
yep.
quickly, like
Mm-hmm.
from water, and it's my go-to.
Yes. And then for face soap, I put it's my favorite, but Youth to the People Superfood
Mm-hmm.
Gentle Antioxidant Cleanser.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Yeah,
So good.
yeah, I would agree with that one.
And then gadgets. Okay, so when I say gadgets, I just mean like how do I explain that? Like just
Like beauty
beauty tools. That's what I should have
tools. Yeah,
said. Beauty
yeah,
tools.
beauty tools and gadgets.
Yeah.
um, I'll add one really quickly
Yeah.
to that. I feel like a gua sha,
Yeah.
and if you're gonna gua sha with like a face oil.
Mm-hmm.
I really love right now. I go between like I love a Sunday Riley one, but to be honest, guys, I only get it when it's like in the points in Sephora,
Oh,
like the sample sizes.
I don't even know if I
Um,
knew they had a
yeah.
oil.
So I love their night one. I think it's called Luna. I literally have like the smallest little. It's so
Is
small.
it this?
Uh
Oh,
oh
Summer Sunday
Sunday Riley. Did I
Riley.
say Summer Fridays?
I don't know.
Okay, Sunday
Play it
Riley.
back.
Yeah, Sunday Riley Luna
Okay.
oil. I really like that one. And then the CEO Glow is like a vitamin
Yes.
C one.
Yes.
So yeah, that and like, well, I guess I just added like a whole other face oil category.
Well, no, and
But
also like I'm thinking of vitamin C. Again,
yes,
this is a working
work it.
list.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Working
We'll work
list.
on it. Yeah, we'll add more. But I would add like a gua sha to that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mine would be the contour cube, which I've mentioned.
mm-hmm.
I've been traveling a lot. Well, not a lot, literally like one flight. But I'm puffy. Like I get so puffy, and it's this ice. You fill it up with water, you put it in the freezer overnight, and then you pop out, and you just like it's kind of like a gua sha. Like you can
Yeah,
use it
yeah.
as a gua sha, but it's just ice. Love it,
Mm-hmm.
love it, love it, love it. And
Mm-hmm.
then the last one, this is there to, I would never trust myself to do this by myself. I've worked with too many beauty professionals who would like,
Mm-hmm.
to the beauty professionals who are listening right now,
Mm-hmm. We're
this is a
sorry.
trigger.
Sorry, not
Like,
sorry.
yes,
Yeah,
but
trigger
no, it's
warning.
not me. It's not me.
So our team has a hot take. We love an at-home dermaplane. Now, I do not do it frequently at all. Like maybe once a quarter. Just depends, like on kind of, I think where my skin is at. Um, but I will do it. I will like do it very gently, of course. And I know our estheticians listening are saying there's no such way to do that. But I will say like it's something I've done for ever, like since high school.
That's crazy to me, like that you were ahead of the game.
Like I've done it for so long, and I would just it like honestly just I know it, like I know it removes a layer of skin, and
Yeah.
it's like okay, dead skin cells, but it like removes your layers, skin barrier. I know, I see the TikToks. But I like I'll use it to like remove peach fuzz. Like that's like the main thing. I don't do full face either. I don't know if that like helps or doesn't, but yeah, hot take that I do. like that. Now if I could like, have like a weekly like at home facialist,
Oh,
or okay, maybe weekly is a little much.
but
That
like,
would be nice. That would give
yes,
it life.
yes,
Um, but yeah, so
that would be
like
amazing.
literally on Giggly Squad, I was listening to it this morning, so I
Me
guess it
too.
came out this week.
Same.
Paige was saying how she wished she had like a salon
Yeah.
in her house. Like I want a spa.
Yeah.
Like let me get a massage, a facial, and do my nails. Like that would be
Please.
Thank
Wait,
you.
did you say hair too? Because like
Oh
also
yeah,
hair.
yeah. Like I need someone to like wash my hair and blow dry it every day because
Yeah.
there's just way too much hair for me to do that.
Yeah.
That I don't do that.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, so that's a wrap on the beauty category for now. I'm sure like we'll keep adding to it as we are working on this blog. But yeah, we wanted to create like a really fun like gift guide.
Yep.
Our next category is wellness and health. I think we can all agree as a team that I was joking. I was saying that I myself am in my unwellness era. There's something, I live in Florida, so I can't use like, oh, winter and the weather cooling off as like an excuse because our cold fronts that come in are literally like low 70s, high 60s. So that doesn't really count. But a few things Harmony loves, and you love your Aura Ring too. Well, I guess Harmony doesn't love her Aura Ring. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
But Aura Ring has been added onto the list. Maddie, I know you're a big fan of ClassPass. And I think, were you mentioning of looking for like their Black Friday like offer? Yeah.
Yes.
So I think that's a really great tip. I added in hot yoga. Our team loves hot yoga as like our like workout class that we go to. I think it's relaxing and a good workout, and that's what I like to get both.
Yes.
I like to be productive.
Yes.
With my hours.
So. I want to sweat.
Yes.
I want to sweat.
Yes. Please get out all the toxins and but also I want to like relax my mind at the same time, if that makes sense. If you've never done hot yoga, then you're probably thinking what's wrong with you, but that cold like lavender towel at the end of class it's how I keep going. So I look forward to that alone. Yes. Brianna on our team mentioned hiking and the All Trails app if you're like looking for like hiking and or walking trails, because we live in Flatland, Florida, so we don't have a lot, which I guess Charleston Flatland too, so like walking trails like here in the South. So I feel like I need that like for more places to take Winston, and facials, of course, so we are not doing our at-home dermaplaning. We added facials to the list. And then which is so funny because I know I recommended this podcast. I've yet to try the chocolate bone broth, and I need to. I need to just add like. Do you drink other like bone broth as well? Like
I try, like the savory. I just like slowly incorporating this into my stuff. But yes,
same.
Yeah, bone broth. I just like the benefits of bone broth in general. I'm just like, oh, okay.
I need to drink it more. I think when I was like on my journey of actually like stopping drinking coffee at the start of the year, I drank way more than I do now. But yeah. Yeah. Okay,
and then the next category is work, office / tech. So we have a gimbal, a tripod, the Kindle, but the paperwhite version. Transparent sticky notes. This was Harmony threw this to us.
Yeah.
And I'll be sure again link these things because none of us had heard of this. We were like, what are you talking about?
I didn't know it existed. I didn't know it existed. The other thing that I'll add to that as well, it's in my Amazon cart at the moment, but the giant Post-it notes. I mean, they're like, it looks like a giant notebook, but it's a Post-it note. Like you could peel it off.
Is that for our planning meetings?
Oh yeah, I need to like get it, and I'm gonna present to the class. So that's my plan if I don't end up like doing that digitally. But yeah, the clear notes just look so cool. Like, wow,
so aesthetic, like so chic.
Yes, and who doesn't have like a million Post-it notes at like one time? Yeah. Yeah.
We also said a Sharpie, like the big thick one. I think that's what that was.
Yes. Yeah. A good marker to write on.
Oh no, we were talking about pens. We need to like come back to this and like recommend the pens because I feel like you listening to like we all get picky about the type of pens we use.
Your writing tools matter.
Yes.
Yeah.
again, clearly we were like teacher's pet. Like,
yeah, school supply shopping. School,
yes.
so I used to be like fan of school supply shopping over like school clothes
Yeah.
shopping. Honestly,
I
that
couldn't.
was
I had a uniform, but yes.
oh,
So that
so
was
yeah,
like,
so yeah,
so
yeah,
that was like
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. Okay, now on to home and our like last category for our favorite things.
I'm sure we will add more to it too.
Absolutely, absolutely, because we need to do our like Black Friday, scoping out the deals and
Yes.
whatnot. Non-toxic pans, I think such a big. I will add to that as well because I don't see it on this list. Glass like containers.
Agreed.
Like
Agreed.
I
Like
am so
plexiglass.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, like I am that annoying person. Like I can't do like a
No,
plastic.
I've watched too many
Yes.
things now of like
Yep.
the plastics in our body. I'm like,
Okay, also
oh,
last thing I'll add about that is wooden um utensils over plastic. Like a wooden spoon or a wooden
oh,
spatula or like a
I'm
wooden ladle or something. Like
okay.
those I think are just from what I've like heard from non-toxic talk um are better than yeah, so I think those are good. Add up
Okay,
as
yeah.
well. Also, I guess same note. God, we're really leaning into like a clean 2025.
I'm here for it
A
though.
candle warmer over like lighting candles.
I do
Um,
love lighting candles,
I
but
know,
this
yeah,
Airbnb has candle like there's so many. I'm like, okay, I
yeah,
know they're from Amazon because I've seen it.
yeah,
I just need to get it.
yeah, yeah. Candle warmers, way to go in 2025.
Hmm.
Um, a floor mirror,
Yes,
which there's one here. It's somewhat kind of behind my head here in the video feed.
and that's the one I have.
Is
Not
it?
that's it's not again Amazon, but it's
Yeah,
not as big. Um,
yeah.
but it
I need a mirror of that size.
where it's like
Well, probably
I
not that size because that's
yes,
huge, but yeah.
but like I feel like as social media managers, content creators, where I think subconsciously, if you're living in a one bedroom apartment like I am right now, like it's you feel like, oh, I'm not living in that pretty house or like whatever. So you kind of like
Mm-hmm.
stop yourself. But this past year, I've just kind of the mirror has been a game changer where I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
no, this
Yeah.
is to show my full outfit
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
like,
Mm-hmm.
try and up level your small little one
Mm-hmm.
room, make it feel as luxe as you can.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, I'd love the anthropology mirror, but like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
in this economy.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. A hatch alarm
So
clock.
do you have? I have one.
Yeah, I have one. I think I have like the older generation. I don't know if that even
Like,
matters.
does it like you can have it set to like the sunrise?
Yes. Yes.
Same.
So yeah,
Okay.
I like that. I also like have it like I don't really use it too much at night anymore because I feel like now I just like literally hit the pillow and I
Fall
go to
asleep.
sleep.
Yeah.
Because I'm like exhausted from like either reading or the day or something. But yeah, I think a hatch alarm clock is
Mm-hmm.
is so needed. It's just I don't know, it's a better way to wake up than like your
Your
phone
phone.
alarm. Like no one wants to hear that noise. Like
Yeah.
yeah. And I think that's a wrap at this moment on our favorite things. Like Maddie said, we're going to work on a blog post so we can share that prior to Black Friday. So if you guys are doing any shopping on Black Friday or maybe like Cyber Monday, you can maybe add some more things to your list. Also, I think really great like gift guide for like any
Yeah.
friends or family who you're like, what do I buy for them? Like, I don't know, kind of pop into these categories. I think as our like, kind of speaking from like our team as well, like there's things in here that are like smaller price points, medium price
Yeah.
points, higher price points, just depending on who that person is or how much you want to like splurge on
Yeah.
yourself. And yeah, we'd love to know if there's anything else that you guys would add to it. I think we could do, I'm like throwing this out here right now as we're doing it, but if anyone wants to like DM us on Instagram at hashtag managed and send in a submission for like what they would add to the favorite things list, like let us know and then
Yeah.
we'll like tag like, hey, at Jessica on Instagram said this. Like, I don't know. We'll include
That'd
that
be fun
link.
because
We'll include that link of you in the blog.
you're literally our influencers.
Yes. Yep. And we want to know. And we also might add that to our cart as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
yeah. So that would be really fun. I think that's a wrap on this week's episode. Anything you'd add, Patty, to close us out?
No. We'll catch you next week on the airwaves.
All right. Bye, guys. I feel like now it's like so formal. We're
I
like
know.
ending like a little Zoom coffee chat.
Yeah.
If you guys are watching this on video, if you're listening to it, then that's fine too. We'll catch you next week. Thanks so much for listening to this episode. If you made it this far, I think we've officially become internet besties. You can always call into the hashtag hotline and say hello, leave a review, or ask your burning questions.
Make sure you follow, rate, and review the podcast wherever you're listening from. Subscribe to the Social Club newsletter for our weekly email, and shoot us a DM over at #manage on Instagram, letting us know what your biggest takeaway was from this episode.